In the vast expanse of our oceans, there lurks a creature so bizarre, so alien-like, that it challenges everything we think we know about marine life. This isn't science fiction, it's the salp, nature's own living vacuum cleaner and one of the most misunderstood animals in the sea. At first glance, a salp might not look like much, a translucent, barrel-shaped blob drifting through the ocean currents. But don't let their simple appearance fool you. These fascinating creatures are far more complex than they appear. Salps belong to the family Salpidae and are classified as tunicates, a group of marine invertebrates also known as sea squirts. But here's where things get interesting. Despite their jellyfish-like appearance, salps are actually more closely related to vertebrates. Yes, that includes humans, than they are to cnidarians like jellyfish and coral. These gelatinous animals come in various sizes, ranging from as small as your fingertip to as large as a shoebox. Their bodies are primarily composed of water, giving them their transparent appearance. But don't be fooled by their watery composition. Salps are equipped with a complex internal structure that includes a nervous system, a digestive tract, and even a primitive heart. One of the most remarkable features of salps is their method of locomotion. They move through the water using a form of jet propulsion that's surprisingly efficient. By contracting muscles bands that encircle their barrel-shaped bodies, salps draw water in through an opening at one end and expel it forcefully through an opening at the other end. This not only propels them through the water but also serves as their feeding mechanism, allowing them to filter tiny plankton from the water as they go. Now, prepare to have your mind blown, because the life cycle of salps is nothing short of extraordinary. Salps have a unique reproductive strategy that involves alternating between two distinct generations, the solitary phase and the aggregate phase. The solitary phase begins with a single salp, often referred to as an oozoid. This individual is essentially a female, and it reproduces asexually by producing a chain of genetically identical clones. These chains can consist of dozens or even hundreds of individual salps, all linked together like a string of gelatinous pearls. As the chain grows, it eventually breaks free from the parent salp. This marks the beginning of the aggregate phase. Each individual in the chain, known as a blastozoid, is initially female. They are fertilized by male gametes produced by older chains floating nearby. Here's where things get even more interesting. Once fertilized, each individual in the chain develops a single embryo. As the embryo grows, the parent salp transforms from female to male. The fully developed embryos are eventually released as solitary individuals, starting the cycle all over again. This alternation between solitary and aggregate generations allows salps to reproduce at an astonishing rate when conditions are favorable. In fact, salps are considered one of the fastest-growing multicellular animals on Earth, capable of increasing their body length by up to 10% per hour under optimal conditions. Salps may look delicate, but they are voracious eaters with an impressive appetite. Their primary food source is phytoplankton, the microscopic plant-like organisms that form the base of many marine food chains. The feeding process of salps is a marvel of natural engineering. As they propel themselves through the water, they simultaneously filter out their microscopic meals. Water enters through the salp's oral opening, passes through a mucus net that traps tiny particles, and then exits through the atrial opening. This efficient system allows salps to filter vast quantities of water. Some species can filter up to 10 liters of water per hour. What's particularly fascinating about salp feeding is their ability to capture particles as small as bacteria. This makes them incredibly efficient at cleaning the water column and transferring energy from the lowest trophic levels to higher ones. But here's the thing, when phytoplankton is abundant, salps can reproduce so quickly that they may actually outpace the growth of their food source. This can lead to massive blooms of salps that can strip an area of its phytoplankton in a matter of days. Now you might be wondering, why should I care about these blob-like creatures? Well, salps play a crucial role in marine ecosystems that far outweighs their simple appearance. First and foremost, salps are a vital link in oceanic food webs. They efficiently package the energy from phytoplankton into larger, more easily consumed parcels for larger animals. Many species of fish, sea turtles, and even some seabirds rely on salps as a food source. In fact, in some parts of the ocean, salps can be even more abundant than krill, making them a critical food resource. But the impact of salps goes beyond their role as a food source. Remember how efficiently they filter water. This has significant implications for the ocean's carbon cycle. As salps consume phytoplankton, which absorb carbon dioxide during photosynthesis, they package this carbon into their bodies in fecal pellets. When salps die or excrete waste, these carbon-rich packages sink rapidly to the ocean floor. This process, known as the biological pump, effectively sequesters carbon in the deep ocean, potentially for hundreds or even thousands of years. In this way, salps play a role in regulating our planet's climate by helping to remove carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. Moreover, salp blooms can have far-reaching effects on marine ecosystems. When salps appear in large numbers, they can significantly alter the composition of plankton communities, affecting the entire food web. Some scientists even suggest that increases in salp populations could be an indicator of changing ocean conditions due to climate change. For many years, humans have had a complicated relationship with salps. Fishermen often view them as a nuisance, as large blooms can clog fishing nets and interfere with operations. Beachgoers might be put off by the slimy mats of salp bodies that sometimes wash up on shores during blooms. However, as we learn more about these fascinating creatures, our perspective is beginning to shift. Scientists are increasingly recognizing the potential benefits that salps could offer in our fight against climate change. Remember their role in the biological pump. Some researchers are exploring ways to enhance this natural carbon sequestration process. By understanding the factors that lead to salp blooms, we might be able to promote their growth in strategic areas, effectively creating natural carbon sinks in the ocean. Moreover, the unique properties of salps are inspiring innovations in various fields. Their efficient propulsion system has caught the attention of engineers looking to design more energy-efficient underwater vehicles. The mucus nets they use for feeding have inspired research into new types of filters for removing microplastics from water. There's even potential for salps in the field of medicine. Some species of salps produce compounds that show promise in fighting inflammation and certain types of cancer. Who knows what other medical breakthroughs might be hiding in the genes of these gelatinous creatures? Now, let's delve into some of the extraordinary adaptations that make salps true marvels of evolution. These creatures may look simple, but they're packed with surprises. One of the most remarkable features of salps is their transparency. This isn't just for show, it's a highly effective form of camouflage. In the open ocean, where there's nowhere to hide, being virtually invisible is a huge advantage. Predators have a hard time spotting salps, giving these gelatinous creatures a better chance of survival. But salps don't rely solely on camouflage for protection. Some species have developed the ability to produce bioluminescence. They can create their own light. This might seem counterintuitive for an animal trying to avoid detection, but it's thought that this ability might help confuse predators or attract even larger predators to threaten would-be salp eaters. Another impressive adaptation is the salp's ability to survive in a wide range of ocean depths. Many species undertake daily vertical migrations, moving from depths of up to 1,000 meters during the day to surface waters at night. This behavior allows them to feed in the plankton-rich surface waters under the cover of darkness while avoiding visual predators during daylight hours. Perhaps most impressively, salps have evolved to thrive in nutrient-poor environments. Their efficient filtering system allows them to extract nutrients from even the most dilute sources. When food is abundant, they can grow and reproduce at astounding rates, allowing them to quickly take advantage of favorable conditions. As our oceans face unprecedented changes due to human activities and climate change, the role of salps in marine ecosystems is becoming increasingly important and increasingly complex. On one hand, warming oceans and changing nutrient patterns could lead to more frequent and intense salp blooms. This could have significant impacts on marine food webs, potentially outcompeting other important species like krill in some areas. However, the picture isn't entirely clear. Some research suggests that ocean acidification, another consequence of increased atmospheric carbon dioxide, could negatively impact salps by making it harder for them to form their delicate bodies. Moreover, the potential of salps to sequester carbon is drawing increased attention from climate scientists. Could these humble creatures play a role in mitigating the effects of climate change? It's a question that researchers are actively exploring. As we continue to study salps and their place in the changing ocean, one thing is clear. These often overlooked animals are likely to play a crucial role in the future of our marine ecosystems. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and keep exploring the mysteries of the deep.